Hello and welcome back to Nat Scraps. I am on day 4 of Christy's beautiful life, and if you have watched the last few videos, it has been a bit of a struggle, but I'm happy to report I really loved creating this layout and I feel a little bit more revived after doing it. So if you watched the last one where I really struggled, it was nice to get to the ending where I felt quite okay. Here at the start, I've already chosen my photos to go with the sketch. Now the sketch is round, I chose oval photos, but the photos were down the bottom of a 6x4, so I had to kind of cut the bottom off. So straight away I was thinking how I can cover up the fact that they're missing at the bottom. There's some bits of flags coming out the top and the bottom of this sketch, so I'm kind of thinking flags but not using the top and the bottom, and I'm going to work from there. So I've already pulled out a couple of papers I think I'm going to use and trimmed those photos to oval before starting the video. And this is where I'm sort of at. I will get back to how I got my title and the colour scheme for this in a little while, but in a moment you're going to see I'm going to move those photos out of the way, and I'm going to give the base page that I'm working on a spritz of water. I'm bringing in a craft mat from the other side, and that is going I'm going to put some inks onto that, but I want my paper to be a little bit wet even before I start, so that the ink I do put onto it is loose and runs a little bit, if that kind of makes sense. I'm now just bringing in the 3 colors I've chosen for my color scheme, and I'm going to wipe those onto the mat. It does help if you use the ink side and not the lid. Good job, Nat. And then I'm going to bring in the B1799 brush strokes stamp set, and it has like a round smushy kind of brush stroke, and I'm going to use that to get some of this ink down. So I'm going to just dab up some colors and then place them down. Now, in all reality, I probably should have done one color at a time rather than mixing them all in, because they do get a little bit mixed up, but I like the end result, so I'm not too worried. I wanted a messy background. I didn't want anything perfect. I wanted it to be nice and loose and fluid and not, too much thought gone into it, really. So that was okay in the end. Now, the color scheme I'm bringing in from my photos. So you may have seen when the photo was there that I had the t-shirt that my little boy was in, and it's not easy being this cute, and it was in green, a darker blue and a lighter blue, and that's where I kind of wanted my color scheme to come in, and I was trying to use those colors, and I'd already decided that I was going to use that as the title for my page. It's not easy being this cute, and I'm sure as hell can't be that easy to be this cute. I'm absolutely sure of it. In the back of my mind also, I see that yellow container that he's carrying. It was his little snack container. He was probably running around the house snacking on something, and I want to bring in a little bit of yellow as well, and you'll see I do that. What I just did then was I'd gone and grabbed a cuppa or something like that, so I just put a bit of paper towel over the top of my piece, and then put another mat on the top and let it dry. I had a heater going underneath my table, so it dried a little bit while I was out grabbing a cup of tea from the house. Here I did bring in that little bit of yellow, and I'm looking at that. I've got the yellow, I've got the light blue. I know I want a bit of dark blue, but I'm going to end up adding a little bit of that with ink. The grey there is throwing me off, so in a moment I'll go searching for something else to bring in and find this little piece of green. Now, this was from a birthday collection 12 months ago, and it was one of the bulk papers, and I do have just a little bit left, so it was in my scrap box, grabbed that, and I take that grey and put that aside, which lets more of that colour through, and I'm much happier with that. There you can see the t-shirt with that cute little saying on it. I just love when you have your kids in these t-shirts that have all those cute little sayings, and it's only cute when they're really young though. Once they get to teenagehood, it's not quite as cute. I'm just laying down those strips, trying to decide what order I want them in and how I want them finished off, and I've just torn the edges of those as a finisher. I'd already cut my title sort of in between doing other things and letting stuff dry, so I had that already done, and you can see here that the title is the last word I tried to do in a light blue and it just didn't stand out, so I came back and put recut that in white, and I also put a lot more blue stamping, and I think it was only a couple of seconds you got to see of that, but I did stamp more blue around there just so that it would stand out more and it was a little bit darker in those areas. I'm coming in now, this is a little splatter stamp, and I'm just doing that around in a few locations in that sapphire blue. Now, I was so lucky that last month was the Little Stinkers stamp set, and when I went off looking for that green piece of paper, I actually seen this sitting on my bench and went, oh my god, it says what does it say again? Stinking cute. And I thought, oh, that would be perfect on here. And in the start, I was just going to use that little sentiment, but then I thought, oh, why can't I put the little skunks on there? So I did cut one out and put him at the bottom, and that really ended up deciding exactly what I was going to do for the rest of it. Here you'll see I've cut the stinking cute out, and I'm going to make it so that my little skunk looks like he's holding that little bit of banner, and I will come back and put a little bit of blue ink around that so that it pops a little bit more from the page. And I'm going to pop that on a bit of foam tape and mount that up. Then after I've got this on, it's do I go full skunk mode on this layout? What do I do? What do I want at the top? So there is in the sketch that cluster that is at the top of the page, and I'm trying to think out what I'm doing. And here you can see me sort of just auditioning different stamps in different spots. And do I want it here? Do I want it there? Is it going to look funny there? Is it going to look crazy? You know, is skunks on my boy's toddler page silly? I don't know. So I was trying to figure that out and move it around. I do end up deciding to stamp the other skunk that has a little bouquet of flowers. Now I really try to stay away from anything too flowery on my boy pages. I tend not to use many flowers or flowery things, but I thought this one was okay and that it wouldn't be overly flowery. I did have some trouble stamping this one for some reason. I end up getting it to work, and I do come back and I stamp it again later. I did cut some of I mucked around for a little while with different configurations on the skunk until I was happy with it. So I did cut a little bit of that footage out. So now I have my skunk up the top, and I'm pretty sure this is the direction that I'm going to go. I'm thinking about adding a little toadstool that's in this set as well. But I want to keep those colours coming through. I don't want to introduce too much of the black and white. So I cut out the, in black I do the stalks, then I do a yellow toadstool top, and then I go back and do a green toadstool top as well. Try saying that 10 times fast. And that is makes up a little bit of color and vibrance. I know toadstools aren't yellow and green. Well, you do get yellow ones, but probably not green ones. But I just wanted that pops of color. I wanted it to look nice and bright, and I didn't want to introduce red or pinks into the layout at this stage. So having done that, I thought Oh, that worked well with the toadstools. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do that with the flowers. So here I re-stamped that skunk because I wanted to fussy cut it a little bit nicer. And I went through and I stamped it on the yellow stripped paper I had, on the light blue paper, and on some green paper. And I did the two different tones of green, so you'll notice my title's in a different green to that strip. So I used the two different tones of green there, and I thought that made a nice cluster that just kind of blended in rather than stood out really way too much. So there, the flowers go on, and I am pretty happy with this, guys. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know if you would put skunks on your kids' page, and whether this one was an appropriate use of a skunk. That is pretty much done. There is a spot there that I can do journaling. So on that blue strip, I will be able to go back in later and write something nice that's not about skunks and stinking, but about how cute he is. And I'll be able to put it there. I'll probably do it on some white strips and blend around with the blue. But as pretty much that is done. Before you guys head off, I have neglected to tell you who the sketch was by. It was by Jessica Michaels. Thank you, Jessica, for a wonderful sketch. You can go to Christy's Beautiful Life. You can go to that Facebook page, which is in the description. You can go check out the sketches and you can have some fun. If you like this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful inky day and that you enjoy it no matter what you're doing. Take care, guys. See you on the next one. Bye.